Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. This is the JR Wisdom Channel. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And today I'm going to be coming at you with another topic on why men should not get into serious relationships or get married until they're at least in their mid to late 30s or 40s at this point. Now, I've covered this topic in the past, and for you guys who've been watching my videos, you know how I feel about the situation. But a fellow YouTuber and attorney named Dennis Sperling, he actually did a video on this, and he gave a couple of examples from a family court attorney standpoint, and I linked it in the description. You guys can check it out. And he talked about a couple situations that, he's encountered recently with some close friends of his, or not friends, but I guess some acquaintances that he knows of. One of them is an attorney who's going through certain situations, and based off of not knowing what he wanted, he jumped into a marriage, and he really didn't know who he was, and the person who he was married, he didn't really know who she was. So this happens a lot. And like I said, for those of you who've been following me, you know that I've spoken about this, and I got married at an early age. And that's why I'm trying to talk to you guys who are watching to be careful and to know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? So in an example in the video, what Dennis was talking about was this attorney that he knew basically got out of law school, I guess in his early 30s, immediately got married. He married an older woman at this point, and she's a successful woman. Nothing wrong with that. If you're going to marry someone, make sure she's successful, even though she is much older. I believe she's like a decade older than him. But over time, she basically starts doing the name calling, emasculating him, basically just disrespecting him overall. You know what I mean? And this guy is just like at the point where they're about to get divorced, which a lot of guys find themselves in the position where if you try to communicate a lot of times, it just doesn't seem to cross over or resonate with the woman for the most part, because she already has her mind potentially made up about who you are. And because you've let it go on so long and you didn't know who she was prior to marrying her, you're stuck with this government contract. So I say that to say this guy at this point, he has a child with her. He's most likely going to end up having to pay child support. And he's just going through this awful situation of potentially losing everything that he has because of this marriage. So one of the things that you hear a lot is that a man isn't fully, we hear about this whole fully mature at 25. Even 35 is kind of pushing it. But I think 40 years old is that point where a man really reaches his full potential. He's fully grown. He maximizes his full potential at this point of who he is. The wisdom is set in, the discernment. He's had enough life experience, which is what is important. You know what you're looking for in a woman, whether you've been dating or you just have experience just in general, or you've been able to observe, which is very important as far as being a man, is being able to observe women, observe people, know yourself, take time out in life to know yourself, know what it is that you want. Because a lot of times we get in relationships, sex may be awesome. You may be infatuated with this woman's beauty. You may be just lonely. Dudes get married for different things, and women get married for different things as well. But you need to realize, as a man, you are in control of the marriage. A woman is in control of who she sleeps with at the end of the day. But as a man, you're in control of whether you guys are going to move forward. You're going to jump that broom. You're going to put that ring on her finger and give her your last name. Don't be forced into, well, a woman is saying, well, I need to be married by such and such time, or I'm already in my 30s. I'm looking to get married, and this needs to be done by the time I'm 35. You can't allow that to happen. You can't allow anyone to push their desires onto you or force you into doing something you really don't want to do. And I did a video about this in the past about some other YouTubers, where it was about, I think one guy was basically saying that his wife was saying that sex was a chore and that she should have been ready or expected him to be a certain way, and he felt like he was forced to marry her. And I'll link that video if you stick around to the end. You guys can check it out. And I totally disagree with that, because a woman, at the end of the day, she can't force you to do anything. Once you are married, a lot of that stuff, I mean, you're kind of like, you're basically placing handcuffs on yourself, and you're opening yourself up to all types of litigation. I mean, it's bad enough if you have children, which is nothing wrong with children, but when you're married and have children, you're opening yourself up to, and you're giving up a lot of rights also at the same time, because the state empowers women when it comes to divorce and child support and custody overall. Most states do. So just think about that. And I encourage you also to be conscious of who it is that you're sleeping with and who it is that you're impregnating, because it's still your seed at the end of the day. And it just as we tend to think that a woman is doing us a favor by sleeping with us, we're doing them a favor as well. You have to look at yourself like that, like you're the prize, and you're giving your seed to her. So this is things that we need to be thinking about instead of getting infatuated and like, oh, I have to wife her. And you see all these dudes talking about wifey material and things like that. Know who you are, know what you want. And when you're dating or getting to know someone, you got to realize, usually it could be right up front, you'll know who someone is, but usually you meet someone's representative, nobody's going to show you the bad part of themselves up front. It's going to be a couple months, usually around the 90-day mark is when you really get to see who this person is. And a lot of times, you guys, if you're going to get married, basically live together first. I don't care what anybody says, whether you know somebody X amount of time and then you just get straight into marriage. Live together first before you get married. That way you really know what's going on. You know what I mean? So this whole thing is, like Dennis was saying, it's become a toxic situation when in these relationships a lot of times, where women nowadays, a lot of women, there are very few good women, and women will say there's not that many good men. But you have to look at the household that the woman you're going to be marrying, where she's coming from. If she's not coming from a good household, if she's coming from a single parent household, and her friends that she hangs around, because the friends that she hangs around is pretty much going to be the same way she is. A lot of times the communication, if you can't communicate and you're seeing this right up front, you should never want to be with a woman or marry a woman that can't communicate. And whenever she gets angry, she resorts to name calling, trying to emasculate you and disrespect you. The best thing to do with a woman like that is just walk away. Even with serious relationships, because you shouldn't be anybody's punching bag. You're a man at the end of the day. You're allowing this stuff. You're setting the stage for what's going to happen in the future. And I want you to be aware of that. Some people take it lightly and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Women are emotional. Yes, they are emotional, but you have to be, to be a couple, to be with a woman, or if you really want to be wifey material or consider yourself wifey material, it's very childish and immature to resort to name calling, even putting your hands on a man, things like that. Don't ever deal with a woman like that. And these types of women will basically say, you need to marry me, and really don't have anything to offer, aren't helping building with anything. They're just destroying and trying to destroy you mentally and tear you down. Don't ever marry somebody you don't respect and that doesn't respect you. It's not going to work. You can't have love, like he said, you can't have love and be in conflict. You can't. It's very unhealthy, and if you bring a child into something like that, it makes it even worse. It's not going to get better. It's just going to get worse. Be you, walk away, be a centered man, and just say, you know, at the end of the day, you can't stand for stuff like that. You shouldn't have to deal with anything like that at all. And some guys, it's just too late at a certain point, and they just can't do anything about it but take it, for fear that if they do get divorced, they'll get destroyed either way. So your freedom is paramount. You got guys who, you know, women say, well, black men don't want to marry us, so on and so forth. And a lot of times that's where you see the single mother will come in a lot. You know, we talk about single mothers, but they run the guys off a lot of times. And you try to have a relationship with your child, and they make you jump through hoops and things like that, make you go out of your way, try to put you through the court system and all that. And at the end of the day, you just don't want to deal with it just to have a peace of mind. And trust me, your peace of mind is most important. That's why be conscious of who it is that you're getting pregnant. Trust me, I know, I'm telling you, just giving you guys advice from my perspective. Be conscious of who you get pregnant. If you want to have kids, by all means, get married. But the precursor to that is marry someone that you mesh with, that's agreeable, that you spend time with before you actually jump the broom into marriage, which a lot of guys don't know what they're getting into a lot of times. You have to understand, in certain relationships, and women from these toxic upbringings, they'll use the children as leverage. And if you don't want to have anything to do with them, they'll say that you're abandoning your child. You don't want to have anything to do with your child because you're not conforming to what it is that she wants you to do. And you'll see this a lot of times with these single mothers, these baby mamas that you have. If you don't conform to what it is that she's saying, that the state has empowered her with, oh, she's gonna raise hell. Not want to let you see your kid, wants to stay in your business. You know, if you have to go out of town or something like that, or if, you know, you're not able to make visitation, or, you know, just things of that nature. I've heard guys say that if they are going on a trip with a girlfriend, or they're going someplace and they say that they won't be able to do, or even if they have to go to the hospital, or there's a death in the family or something comes up and they won't be able to, you know, do visitation with their child, the same one who's trying to keep the child from you is raising hell. So anything to be in control and raise hell, and it's just something wrong there. So trust me, don't put yourself in that position, guys. You know what I'm saying? So family, and this has been going on. Obviously, the family dynamic, especially in the black community, has been broken due to welfare, feminism, and things like that. The father being out of the home, which leads the woman to not have respect for the man, which ultimately means that the mother doesn't have respect for the man either, which is just a cycle. So she ends up not having respect for you because she doesn't have respect for a man in general. So how can you marry someone like that? Keep that. Just think of these things I'm saying. At the end of the day, though, without a family dynamic, there is no community. And that's the reason why our community suffers as a whole, is because of this. The whole family dynamic is shattered because it's hard to get along. Only time you're really getting along is when you're in bed, unfortunately, if you think about it. And after that, you're useless. The disrespect comes. So do your homework, do your research, man. Know who you are, man. I can't say that enough. You know, don't put yourself in that position. Only get married if you want to start a family, to have that family dynamic. But know yourself first and know who you're marrying. Get that experience, get that wisdom, date, enjoy your life, see the world, experience the world. The more you experience the world, the better outlook you have on life, the better outlook you have on the opposite sex, the more you know about what it takes to be a man and what you should expect of a woman. I can't say that enough. And if you're going to get married, also make sure you get that prenup. Make sure you get that prenup. If you have to get married, even though I strongly go against that as far as the traditional way of getting a marriage certificate, legally getting married, if you have to, get a prenup. A lot of you dudes getting married for sex, like the dude I quoted earlier, and I'll link the video at the end here. Don't do that, man. Do not do that. So with that being said, guys, you guys who are in your prime, entering your prime, or you silver foxes out there, you know, enjoy your life, man. Life is beautiful. Life is a garden. Plant your seeds for success in the future that you'll reap the benefits of. Take it from somebody like me. You know, I'm not quite 40 yet. I've made some mistakes in my life. You know, I've gone through all the things that I've discussed in this video pretty much. So, you know, take my word for it. If not, don't take my word for it. Experience is the best teacher at the end of the day. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like video, comment if you have anything to mention, or you got anything, you know, in reference to this topic, you know, let me know. Let me hear your thoughts on it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, along with the bell. That way you receive all the notifications for all of my future videos. If you guys haven't gotten my book yet, Law of Attraction for the Pessimistic Mind, here it is right here. Make sure you guys pick it up. Just released it. Make sure you guys check out all my other videos. The links are in the description to purchase those books. If you guys got any topics you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to email them to me or comment below. If you're seeking any advice or one-on-one with me, coaching session, make sure you guys email me. The links are in the description. With that being said, peace be upon you in the mercy and blessings of the Almighty, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.